cannot find the comment, but someone on here asked me to talk about the royal tour that Charles and Camilla are on right now. I'm going to talk about it eventually, the media coverage, let's be clear. But I want to talk about just royal tours in general, specifically Australia. So far with Charles's tour, there's a lot of reporting about this. What? That was 6 years ago, you weirdos. This is a beautiful example of SEO. How do we bring people in to read more about the current Australia tour? Let's bring up Meghan Markle and bring up some shiz that may or may not be true, probably isn't true, or at least is twisted to be inevitably negative, because people genuinely aren't that excited about Charles and Camilla in Australia. And one of the reasons is their lack of willingness to engage in the conversations that Australians want to have. Australia has been rife because it tends to be a place where somebody performs exceptionally well for the British royal family, but it's not the right person. Recall, it's supposed to be the crown above all else. But very rarely do they operate as a family with that one common goal. I think it's a huge blunder and not changing with the times, because Harry and Meghan's tour was great. Exciting to see a woman of color representing the British royal family. It felt like a time of change, something new coming, and that Harry and Meghan would be such great spokespeople in the Commonwealth countries. But this isn't William and Kate. This wasn't Charles and Camilla. This was the Spare and his wife. The Spare and his wife are not supposed to look better than the person born for the throne. The person that by blood and by birth order is entitled to lead the monarchy. It is so short-sighted to not use periphery members of the royal family and their talents, and instead relying on this idea that one individual can be all the things. But instead of breaking the cycle that saw your father's private secretary leaking on you and your younger brother, no, instead you decided to fall in line, create your own deals with the British media, satiate their need for negative coverage by handing over your brother and his wife so that the coverage of you remains positive. And if they dare step out of line, your lawyers will be calling, despite the whole never complain, never explain. Cool. Harry and Meghan are not the first people to find out that having success on tour is not a good thing if you're not the right person. This was also the case with Charles and Diana in the early 80s. They were newlyweds. They went to Australia and people loved Diana. She was bright and young and beautiful and willing to shake hands and really meet people where they were at. So they would go and meet people on either side of the barriers, and people would audibly groan when they got stuck with Charles. That must have been weird for Diana, because despite being of aristocratic birth, she was Lady Diana Spencer, being aristocratic and being in the monarchy are two very different things, and she did not get training for how to do this. So then she's doing the job seemingly well, but finds out there's a way to do this job too well, and now that's not okay. Even when you are married to the future king, attention on you is still taking away from him. It's been decades. Still, their only answer to someone else being successful on tour is to turn on them and to find reason why that's bad. Here we are. Not sure if that was a great long-term plan.